So let's talk about that, internet or not internet. I mean, it's not a requirement that you're involved in an internet site to do this.
Not at all. As a matter of fact, there are people that want to do crowdfunding, and they want to do it for their own goodwill reasons. I had a homeowner come to me and said he wants to crowdfund to raise money to keep the land next to him vacant because he doesn't want a big project coming next door to him. He's going to go around his entire neighborhood and try and get the power of the crowd to invest to buy this piece of vacant land so it's not developed. That's crowdfunding at its most simplest point.
Yeah.
Absolutely. American Dreamer, you're listening to Michigan Real Talk. We're talking with Bob Mattler. He's here talking about funding roots and this new MILE Act that allows us little guys to get involved in real estate investment locally in a way that's not been there before. And the intrastate is an important part of what we were talking about, right? You said it's got to be Michigan-based project. It's got to happen inside the state of Michigan.
Correct. For a property to meet the guidelines of the MILE Act, in order to get the exemption for the SEC to say it's okay,
right,
it has to be intrastate. So when I say intrastate, within the confines of Michigan, you need a Michigan developer who's going to keep most of the money here because what are we trying to do? Economic development in Michigan. So the land's got to be here, the property's got to be here. The Michigan resident investing in the piece of real estate has to be a Michigan resident, and basically it has to be most of the assets that are coming into this transaction has to remain in Michigan.
I love that.
What we're doing is we're doing local investing. Mm-hmm. We're doing local investing at the ground level, and we're allowing ourselves to build our own economy.
That's outstanding, and it's a chance for government to get out of the way a little bit. And you know, I'm not the anti-government guy. I'm not. Government exists to protect people from one another. But, you know, here this SEC rule, the Jobs Act of 2012, made the opportunity available for an exemption to that, right? Is that where Rule 407 came into play, was through that Jobs Act?
Rule 407's been in existence before, where you could have an exemption as long as it's intrastate.
Okay. But it's taken the SEC forever to get through their bureaucracy to get the rules out about how this new opportunity applies. So Governor Snyder, at the end of last year, beginning of this year, was able to get through with only one dissenting vote in all of the Michigan legislature, a great MILE Act, we call it. And this is a great opportunity, American Dreamer, for you to maybe get involved in real estate investment maybe for the first time. You should go to the MichiganRealTalk.com. That's MIRealTalk.com. And we're going to put on the site there, and again on the Facebook page, Michigan Real Talk Facebook, information about how to get in touch with Funding Roots and this
Southeast Michigan Crowdfund Meetup.
Southeast Michigan Crowdfund Meetup. And take a look at it, because this is a whole new ball game. Dreamer, this opportunity has not existed, and everybody knows in business kind of getting in on the ground floor is a good time to get in. If you're working with the right professionals, though, right? You got to have the right developers. You got to have the right business people in charge of this. You want to make sure you're working with reputable people. That's why I invite Bob Mattler in to talk about it.
And Funding Roots is going to be doing just that, Paul. As I said, we're only going to be as successful as our last deal, so we're going to be doing a lot of the vetting of the real estate developer, of the property itself, and making sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. Because, you know, we're only going to be as good as our last deal, just like any real estate developer, any real estate piece of transaction.
Well, I like too that you're having the classes and teaching people about it, because how often do you even get that with some new thing where you're teaching people this is what happens, this is, you know, so they know the risk too, because there is risk with it, with everything.
And we're going to be very upfront.
Yeah.
It's a real estate transaction. It comes inherent with risk, just like any other investment, whether it's a business, whether it's a stock, whether it's a bond. There's always risk, in buyer beware.
Buyer beware. But I tell you what, I think I'm a buyer.
Yeah,
I'm excited about this opportunity.
I love that stuff.
American Dreamer, go to the MIRealTalk.com site. We'll have information there about how you can get involved, at least in the education side of this, and get involved with either Funding Roots or this Southeast Michigan
Crowdfund Meetup.
Crowdfund Meetup. You're listening to Michigan Real Talk. We'll be right back.